Hey everybody, this is Andrew, and welcome back to another The Greatest Italy Chronicles. In the last episode, we met the same juries again, and hello back again, Van Zeeks, for what? For being the prosecutor for this case. For this past case. Yes, this is actually a bit of a flashback to wonder who are these guys in the first place. And we really also know that, and sorry, and we got to know a little bit more detail on who Shakespeare is, since we know he's a gas thief, but for what purpose he used the gas for. But anyways, the trial has been concluded until the following day, so I'm guessing this is going to be another investigation to check her out. Unlike the first game, it's more like a one-day trial, but this one is at least more back to the roots. Anyways, without further ado, let's resume the case. February 1:11 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. We made it back in one piece, just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a loss of close shave. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe with you. Oh, thank you. And now the youthful exploits have won us some more precious investigation time. Let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Can't I mean? Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. And I'm here in England working as a lawyer, in the Old Bailey no less. Still wondering if the juries are budgetary. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him selling my shoes. It should be Kazuma. What's Kazuma-san's wishes say? You follow him to Great Britain and walk alongside him. Yes, I never had a chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I have no doubt that Kazuma-san would say exactly the same if you were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Well, before we move around, our one is so bad. Oh, wait, no. What's here? I heard that's another room behind that door. Yes, it's my bedroom now, son. As well as you well know, shall I help you unpack your things? That's very kind, but no thank you. Your luggage looks very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it? That's very kind, but really, no thank you. A young lady's private chamber is a place with bittersweet secrets, you know. The only secrets I have is the 5 yen banknote hidden on the backside of my dorm door. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They're called aquariums and they were all the rage in London at one time proudly. Yes, the England are so clever coming up with the idea of having ocean life on display in their home. And it means you always have an emergency midnight piece on hand too. Fish, sushi. I'm not sure that's really the idea. Nothing here. What? I can't do the stove. Oh, wait. Nothing particular, no. Perhaps we should put this spade away somewhere. That's not a spade now, son. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade. No, Spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're so right, my little son. You mustn't go over such trifles. On reflection then, I think I'll leave this bit where it is. Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Well, can I talk to you first? So, today's trial, let's talk. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in the court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he's actually a bald-faced gangster as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. Oh wow, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about society's exploiting. Indeed. Careful of your phrases, yourself, son. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to Mr. Shamster than we yet know for sure. Mr. Shamster certainly wasn't the noble, upsetting man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital while he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is it? Let me see. Ah yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's on what Londoners call it Bartholomew's. Wait, I thought it's St. Sinners, but oh well, so it's a different hospital. Sorry, I didn't work there. I work at St. Sinners. Sorry about it. I was joking on the fact that he was. I just visiting them to check out. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital of which she has taken. Ah, yes, after Sasaki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful your phrasing, Miss Nelson. Didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Sasaki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. So, we know that Sasaki-san took the key to the victim on the night in question, but he is as he isn't the culprit, then obviously. Yes, the poison sure wasn't in the tea, but if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamster's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamster's room that will help to solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard's detective had been over there place already, but it couldn't hurt us. We'll have another look around, I think. Hopefully they don't kick us out. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bottle. So, well, if we run into Inspector Grayson, we could ask him about that. Kazuma Azuki, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in the horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why go through these lengths so I can accompany you to the Great Britain? Well, it's been over my mind ever since we got through that trial, that you really ought to go into law, be a defense lawyer. You got a natural talent for it, believe me, I guarantee it. But I never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you obviously, you have to decide for yourself. Anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt you for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day what? Oh no, never mind. Naruto-san. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right, but Yes, I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't, I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Kazuma's true intent. Naoto-san, what do you mean by Kazuma's true intentions? Oh, look at this sword. I mean this. Is katana? I never expected it to inherit the sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes, actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Karuma? That's right, it's the prized sword that is being passed down to generation of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is a sword, Yonosuke. I can't be part for my katana. Kuruma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels with the wielder to slice evil in two, not that you need much compelling. On the subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes, I appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see through the end with you. I knew you would. You didn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I had hoped the answer to that question would be apparent when we arrive here, but as yet I have not found a single clue. I see. Well, now that's out of the way, this one. Okay, first off, we got soap suites, Miss Bean's hospital, Mr. Sanji's room, dry road, dry depths, prison. So let's start in chronicle order. Let's go to chat to Shom's apartment. On the second February, Shom's suite. Oh, Runa and Susie, hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirit as always, I see. I am, and you're like magically presented as episodes. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you're gonna have to come at a better time. I just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Ooh, aha! The wandering winter and last. Where on earth have the pair you been? We've been in court. Oh, for Mr. Mojasta's case. That was for today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict at the least. Really, I would like to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Hill's acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name is Ronaldo. Even I got ball in the face. Wait, what? Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes? Whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint but absolutely awful. Ugh. Ah, indeed. That's the scene of victory. My dear fellows, victory is science. Oh dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Anything I can check around here? Hey, Iris is just... Hey, she's typing. Iris? That's incredibly concentration, that's it. I find it quite remarkable how she can focus on so many different things at once. Perhaps I should try drinking more herbal tea. The blended from the right would be good for you, Irina. Oh, sorry. What did you say? Oh, Iris? This girl is destined for great things, I'm sure. Ah, yes, this is where you note down the ideas, isn't it? So, what's on the blackboard today? Baka Bruno. Baka Bruno, what is it? Oh, I'm just playing around with the ideas for the title and then next month's installment. Another idea I had was the barrel coronet. I'm really torn about which one to use. What do you think, Bruno? Anything but Baka Bruno, obviously. I suppose you're right. I'll tell you what, I'll surprise you with it. You have to wait until next month and see. Ugh, so many sleepless nights. Not. I can't do this. Okay, what's for tea? It always strikes me on how pretty and neatly arranged this tea set is. It's my favorite one. In fact, I think it's high time for afternoon tea. Wait there, I'll take some special blend after I prepare for today. Oh, Iris, you do love your teas, so you look so happy at the prospect. And after you drink it, I'll collect some experimental data. Is that all? Wait, what? You haven't tested? Just what she's about to make me drink. It's not poison, is it? Is it? Oh, I can't do the test tubes. I can't press that. Never mind, we talk about shows. Oh, anyways. How do you hell you know him? Lord Baron Benzix. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bay. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought in for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even he or she is found not guilty by the court, sooner or later that happens so will be banished from the capital. But vanquish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in Thames, or succumbing to a sudden feeling of quite out of the blue being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus by vehicle. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mercer is fighting fit for the time being, at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquainted are, well, by Lord Benzic's own hand. As it happens, Mr. Soto, that is quite impossible. Oh? Why? Naturally, the man is very quick. Really came under such suspicions. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast iron eye out. Really? And so his reign continues, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the court, never to appear as the prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Nanakodo. Yes, so I have heard. In fact, it was that very day I arrived when I was thrust into the trial at the Old Bailey. After the fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection, and really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are facing Mr. Reaper again, for the 3rd time. Poor Bruno, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Huh? With Mr. Nasue, who I currently defend being Japanese as well as Mr. myself, I feel it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Benzig seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed, it's an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? It was about 10 years ago that Baron Benzig chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. What the? Tell us more, Mr. Jones. What happened? I believe I made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... The veil will be lifted on the events of the past indeed, of course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who's most deserving of your attention, I believe. Yeah. By the way, what the fuck is this smell? So what the fuck is that? Incredible false smell. Ugh, yeah, I need a gas mask, please. Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A vial. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequent streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dye leaves or drab fade. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what it appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! At the really early, let us add a drop of my chemistry to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happened? It turns into completely black. And what a foul smell is giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It will appear that this cup was particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with the black liquid now? Can I take a sip? Why, dispose of them naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? Of course not. That would be a stupid idea. You got it. Then does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes? Hence, why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we're entering a new era of science in the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. I regularly engage in these scientific experiments alongside my unofficial consulting detective. The Sherlock Holmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigation technique is based. This little tea indicates what's a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science, I suppose I should find out more about that. Alright. See what's next. I have a little bit of... Before I continue, I have a little bit of oddity here. I mean, I'm seeing here the two new users, but over here it says that I only got one, so I'm a little confused why that happened. If anybody knows about the Twitch here, please let me know, cause I'm a little confused what's going on. Whether the count number is correct or are they anonymous or this? I don't know. So I need somebody to help me out on what's going on. Well, I just type in first. I'm not counting about the view count, I just only a little curious. Alright, second. Okay, there we go. Just a second. see now. Alright, okay. Okay, sorry about it. Moving on. Forensic science. So, your t-test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. A necessary tool in case the hinge of the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases. Perhaps a more practical example is required: fingerprints. Not yet accepted in our court as evidence. Am I right? Really, we are dragging our heels there. I mean, in a century later, we got somebody who relied on fingerprints. I hadn't even heard of them until recently, which is partly why I take research in this field myself, of course. Does it mean you're studying fingerprints, Mrs. Sholmes? There are others in the field already. I not for the company of inferior minds. No, what I'm researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nomenclature. What? A nomenclature of my own design, as if the chemical agents and exhibits. Essentially reveal object touched by whichever person is under investigation. Really, Mrs. Sholmes, as long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Reno. See you later. Yes, until later. No, Mrs. Sholmes, we were thinking you come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said just moments ago. You said we witnessed your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later. In all likelihood, probably, maybe, well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Why, thank you now, though. That's not a compliment. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We your review. Susato, don't encourage him. That's not a compliment. Bye, Yuna. Bye, Susie. The things I do for a living. The things I do for working with living here. Alright. Anyways, let's visit the hospital before we head to the crime scene. February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital, the recovery ward. Which this is not Saint. Okay, when I notice that this is not Saint Sinners, if Saint Sinners, I'll be very, very super. Very wow. Moving on, sorry. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I heard angry voices. Oh great, did they really put this guy in together with her? Wait, hold on a second. I thought she's been discharged since yesterday. How the hell is she still here? I mean, she said she was packing her stuff, yet the fact she says, "Oh, I don't need to pack my stuff," but shouldn't she be discharged by now? How odd. Shucks. Be not angry, oh ample lady. Very though unmistaken. Mistaken my foot. You were looking at my painting. The eye of a man had not heard. The eye of a man had not seen. Those foul indeed, the poison that mustache villain gave me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you died from that poison, you piece of shit. You holler shit. God a mercy, ample lady, but don't see I have bigger still. Yo, my shams have done. Wee! That's just your giddy. That's so wrong. Hey, look at me, we look, I'm dancing up and down, la la la. This looks red omnibus, doesn't it? Yes, and very disturbing. Ah, no, this the lawyer from the land went east, the insane. How now? What the hell are you doing, Shamsi? And why are you jumping up and down just like a spider? Like some sort of lunatic here? Me, thou no lunatic in. Merely, I do believe I'm returning onto another world. He was looking. He was looking. That's what he did. He was looking. That's what he was doing. Looking at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so ducky and fate. Thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud you, even though we know your grubby little teeth. Oh well, thank you. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Did you just change your voice? What happened to your cane? Oh, meow. Don't worry, this is false gold, so I can put this thing back together of the scepter. A non-executed. Mr. Shamsian might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. Why do I have a feeling that this guy is gonna be the culprit in this case? I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person. Uh, Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. Huh? You're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Didn't you say that yesterday? Oh, I see. How long is it for you to take the discharge and stuffs? No, not to be rude, but come on. Really? We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go to home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Whoa, this is you keep the pet rat here. Hello. Oh wait, it's still there. Okay, this is still safe. Okay, this same. There are lots of bottles in the cabin, aren't there? Do you think it's safe to keep them like that? If you were patient here, I'm pretty sure you take some medicine by Wednesday when you go half asleep. That is a worry. But at least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy looking one. Oh, I know that you managed to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well. There are limits even to what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Mr. Sutter. Okay, so that's a new line. I can read this. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am. Thank you. I am. People do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? People like me. Okay, I think she's gonna give a little bit of high-pitched voice a bit. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along the snow one evening, minding my own business, and then completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up yet already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I look back on this fondly. Really? Anyways, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Well, she's busy, so I think we'll come back later. Anyways, let's go back to Mr. Jan's room. February 22nd, Mr. Natsume's lodging, ground floor. Oh, hello again, Mr. Inspector Grayson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around actually. The lawyers representing the defendant have the right to examine the scene, and I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes. One other thing. You saw on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it, alright. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you say. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They'll look into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news, thank you. Pretty impressive performance in the court this morning. Sorry? Nothing, forget it. Just making sure you don't disturb anything there, sunshine. Hello, Holmes. And Holmes, I see you back there. What the? What? Winnie? Mr. Holmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not you, your good self, who asked me to attend to see you? Boy, what are you doing here, Holmes? Get lost! What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Get lost? Dear me, once a great detective always under the secrecy, you see. It's now the time, Mr. Holmes. Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised? With the greatest pleasure, my dear madam. What are you doing? Are you trying to tamper the crime scene? What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruto. Hello, Sherman, sensation skin print seeker gun. I'll shoot you in the head. No, not what? Just kidding, don't worry. Moments ago, I took a sample of a teacup that was used by the victim. A sample from Mr. Shan's cup. Each individual leaves microscopic sequences on everything he or she touched. A sample of those secretion is all I need to produce this, a refined indicated solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything in the room the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. Okay, there. Now, spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray. How? How do I do it exactly? A little press of space on the air where you're interested in the spray like this. Ah, what's this stuff? It's like a fog. A suspension chemical indicator in the pressure gas is the most effective way to cover a large area. There was another invention I discovered instantly while I was developing this idea. Acidio, you mean the one that you turn the tea into black tea and to test it and which is not drinkable? Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movement on the night in question. Well, that's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Okay. So it's a spray. Okay, let's see this side. Hey, so well, I guess he was doing something here. Well, I think it's obvious here. Well, that's more obvious. I'm sure that this side here is a bit more. Yeah, I think he was tampering. Nothing in the hole. How about the light here? The picture? Whoa! Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So they are a great many indeed. So much that it is hard to make out any one's individual print. Ooh, it sends a chill along my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall he had admired this picture. Unlikely, I should say. It's a rather dull scene, after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't genuinely admire the picture for such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mrs. Stowe. It's a bit of a mystery. Oh, very true, Mr. It's a bit of mystery then. Sorry, I almost was so for a moment. What do you need to toss you? No. Anyways, springtime. Nothing here. How about the picture here? Where to? Wait, what goes on? Oh, look at it! Ah, yes. Interestingly, a multitude of victims' handprints. Why are there so many of them in the floor in this one spot? Oof, perhaps there's a bad fall just here. There's nothing obvious you would have tripped over though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think it is something only related to the musicians. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Well, we sprayed Mr. Shum's amazing skin prints indicated all over the room, did we?
Yeah, I'm still eating my fish and chips. Hey, thank you, sunshine.
We did, but there are two places in particular that are interesting, I would say. Yeah. Hey, there's a loose ball. No wonder I didn't see. The handprints on the floor there, and the wall by the picture. You mean? Yes, and I think the floor warrants a closer investigation. It won't be a moment. Yeah, that's the thing I want. Ah! What is it, Mr. Sutter? Look here, Mr. Naruto. One of our balls have popped out. One of, you mean, it's a secret hiding place. Acceptable. Acceptable. This is like so what do we have here?
Oi, what are you lots doing? You know what? You know I've been here all day, right? After you just brain the thing. Very glad you didn't time about my fish and chips. I'll kick your ass out of this time soon.
Inspector Grayson.
Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there. Oh.
No need, Inspector. You continue to dig up portions of objects while we dig under the floor.
Your fancy dogs putting me off my foot anyway, Jones. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Move it! Don't worry, I'll tell you later.
Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you can make use in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw tatami mat. Not? No, I know, but I never expect one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious? Oh, I'll investigate at once. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. How disappointing. But then, how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over on one place like that. There you are, a print for you. A photograph of the handprint on the wall had been entered in the court records. Oh, thank you very much. This invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Grayson found anything under the floor though. I'm desperate to know. So am I. Yeah, we need to too. I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floor there. Allow me to ask Grayson now. After all, we were acquainted. Yeah, define acquainted by the way. Inspector Grayson. Really, it's been too long.
What is it, Sholmes?
I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing that we're good friends.
No, we're not. We're not friends. F off!
No, I suppose not. But this was a thing. Yes, I heard. I kill to know what's under the floor.
Alrighty then, fast fair.
What?
You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in.
Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do you quickly, my dear fellow? If there's one thing I like to know about this man, is that he blows with the wind as fickle as the wind.
Alright, stop making me out to be some kind of a nut. There were 3 items in the folder: a newspaper, clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know?
Well, let's start from top to bottom. Newspaper.
Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time in Manchester.
How terrible.
It's made with the headline down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first.
Oh my goodness, he's committed a capital offense?
Man by the name of Sullivan, nasty piece of work, into burglary and murder. They say he knocked off what's worth about £1,000.
A hoard? Of treasure, you mean?
Jewelry and like that, but he hidden it somewhere and no one knows where, and now he's dead. The papers love it, of course, £1,000 lost and route to hell, or some such was the headline.
Does it not strike you though? Why such an article would be so carefully gone under the floor?
I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go to the papers we got on Southern back in the yard and see if I can turn up anything.
Okay, photographic printer.
So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonable to me.
Wait! Isn't that Garrett and the guy in the picture over there that, Ollie Green has?
Ah, yes, this is my son.
Wait,
I didn't know he got a son.
Yes. It would appear to have been taken on the streets in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrett, the landlord, of course. Oh, who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrett's son?
Yeah, I'm going to say. No, he's my great-great-great-great-grandson. Thank you very much. Perhaps you can take the photograph.
Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, it's the yacht already know. The identity of the young fellow there is. Is that true?
Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information is one of my pastime.
My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold to point something out, pastimes are for one pleasures, but this is for work.
All of most reasons I'm not telling you. Namely you, Sholmes.
Oh, this was a failure, again. Yes, I heard. Within the near shot, thank you very much. I wonder, why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor? I mean, Mr. Shakespeare himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrett was rather delightful to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud prison boy. Yeah, I might ask him about it later on. A tin box.
Now this tin box looks interesting, does it?
Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If we were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be at least surprised.
Yeah, funnily enough, I already had a look. It's completely empty.
What?
Shakespeare, give us the damn clue, you piece of shit! You...
Ahem. Language. You didn't even have a chance to utter words now. But anyways, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to do in us then? I wonder. Hey! Welcome, hi, the cat! Oh, hello, meow meow. Oh look, it's the lovely little kitty cat. What was his name? It's Mr. Nasamis, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him actually. Why do we call it Waga Hai? You know, like Mr. Nasumi referred to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Waga Hai, here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat man. He couldn't be happy now, look. I just hope he can bring some happiness to his owner too. Okay. Right. right now. Oh, that gets so cute. Okay, let's look around the area first. Now we know there's some clues already that we're not talking to Grayson here, so it turns out that Mr. Shamsi wasn't eating the soup at all. That's right. The mystery of why he had it on the plate whilst holding the fork in his hand is solved. Yes, to price his latest ice coin out of this mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap too. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. Even heated eager to debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo and Juliet? It sounds like there was quite a discussion. Like some sort of wrestling, W. Now think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers on the play ended their lives with poison. That's fiction, Miss Suzuki. Let's hope it stays that way. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any like leather. For the needy, London's winter can be very harsh. That's true, but if you ever think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winter can be very harsh for the forgetful too. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Suzuto-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true, we don't even have a meter back at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Wait, did you read my mind? Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, for all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted as established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious thing, isn't it? Mr. Shamsi must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I give him that. Yeah, down here, too bad I can't check, fuck. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing brick window. Yes, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Zoto. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naoto. Oh wait, before that, I almost forgot. Let's see. Yeah, the court records. Can we check? Okay, condemned criminal dies of a natural cause in prison. Manchester's Straightways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Sheldon by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him dead before these capital punishments were carried out. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of handprints, more like ghost prints, hidden photograph. I might show them to you later. Meow. Kitty the kid. That was a cheeky little meowing wagahai. Oh, but he's so adorable. I couldn't sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. Ash, I cannot check that, so there's nothing here. This is a gas wall light, isn't it? It must be connected to a gas pipe in the wall. Gas lights, a gas stove. London is really a city of gas. But now I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garda had an open fire on the top floor, did they? Oh yes, you're right. I don't recall seeing a gas stove up there. Well, I much prefer a real fire anyway, it's so much cozier. Checked. Okay, I checked it, checked. I'll talk really back to him. There's not much on these shelves, is there? Just this wine glass and bottle. And both of them are cracked. Yes, not much use, are they? What's the matter? Oh, I was just reminded of the Reaper, that's all. Prosecutor Lord Antiques. Yes, he's so reckless with his wine glass. I was thinking it was a waste that he shouted and donated to some to the needy.
That's because I keep throwing all the glass bottles on and my chalas to the courtroom thanks to this bunch of It is, namely you.
You can suggest it next time we meet. Okay, I think that's all of it. Right, I think we can move around. Anything outside here? 22nd February, Briar Road. What? Nothing? Really? London's blankly in the fog again today, and the sky is covered in cloud. But you can able to look in the distance, you can just make it out of the Acoustic Tower being built. Ah, the Acoustic Tower, yes. The centerpiece of the great exhibition that's open in 6 months' time. Everyone's talking about the great exhibition of London at the moment, it seems. Well, it's to be the largest event of its kind anyway, in the world, with technology and scientists from all over. I can't wait it for myself. Do you think visiting students from the Far East like us will be granted entry? The last great exhibition was held in London at more than 6 million visitors it seems, and this time the British are determined to make it an even bigger success to outdo the Paris exposition. I see. That's an incredible number of people. And with so many people expected to attend, we should easily be able to slip it unnoticed. There's always the honest approach of buying tickets at the main entrance, Mr. Nahodo. With the exception of the top floor where Mr. and Mr. Garrett lives, all the windows are bricked up. Yes, that's because of an old window tax that was charged on the number of windows the property has. In order to pay less tax, the poor member of society fill in many of their windows. But the tax has since been abolished, hasn't it? So the window could be all opened up again, surely. Unfortunately, it would appear that the residents of this district can't afford to pay half the work done. Yes, that's a sad state of affair. Garrett, I'm sorry to inconvenience you. Especially the people like poor and Mr. Natsumi who have to live all cooped up in the windowless room.
Anime told, don't forget that my wife's in jail, thank you very much.
I suppose that's the price you pay for living in a very cheap accommodation.
Excuse you.
I feel it all seems rather pointless when you put up like that. Anyways, moving on. Anyways, so wait, are you serious that he's thinking that nobody's there to go around? Okay, let's go move on to the next place. I might check the garage, but let's hit the. Let's just not simulate something of the prison. "22nd February, local prison, cell 9. Oh, Mr. Natsume's back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. I am a cat. Meow meow. What? Nani? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is or where Lock shown. I don't know about the courts or trials or Baileys. I am a cat. That's all I am. Just a cat. Meow. Mr. Ono, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He's already has. Completely. So, what's your name here? Name that. As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruto, he hasn't fully thought of his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. You think you could open up your eyes, Mr. Natsume? It's us. I am not a cat. Well, that's obvious. It worked. He's back in the real world. Oh, what's good? He coming in? No. Don't answer that. It's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This moment recently is called possessed hope. Yes, yes, locum student must now Esquire was brilliant, but the Reaper is omnipresent in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere. Fuck! What's he looking straight at me? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh yes, we must. Yeah, conversation this morning, Mr. Shamsu. Well, I think we just present a few stuff like, how about this bad teacup? Sorry. Mr. Nasume, it's nothing much, but it's been too long since we offered present with the delightful humble ethics of our homeland. What? You're too kind. I accept it gladly. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Okay, that didn't work out. Why were the gas meter? Okay, that didn't work too. No, I think this. What about this one? Okay, that didn't work either. This one? What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Miss Chams's room. So he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man Sheldon, a copy killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my fucking lodgings. What? He already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another, a miserable mustached man, manly Japanese man. Listen to me, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Well, okay, at least we can. William Transfer, 31. The victim of the cook is a failed actor renting in the same building. Queen B. Altamont, 38. The wife of the owner of the Altamont Gas Company. She is a strong believer in superior of the few and ultimately unforgivable of gas thief like Mr. Shakespeare. A drone millimeter 23, a young man. Okay, no. Anyways, this morning's trial. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No. Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were plenty of one or two occasions that moved me. But if I just block it out, then today being in that courtroom was it was the most moving experience of my life. So then, Mr. Now Esquire, you're too kind. Cotton Yao found remaining tea just reduced and are analyzing as we speak. There's nothing wrong with the tea. They won't find a drop of poison in that. That's a solemn certainty. Tell me, did you all drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. At that time, we were both completely fine, and showed by the fact that he and Mr. Shamsi then engaged in a Romeo-Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's visit will be how the poison was taken by the victim. That rotten Shamspear, what have I done to him? You don't recall him taking issues with you or anything, do you not recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know so soon. Let you know what, Mr. Nasumi? For the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear, are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I have the money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in a cursed existence in such a cursed lodging. I can clean myself out. Wait, you stink? Oh yes, you said it because the place is cursed and that is so cheap, didn't you? Exactly. Especially the room I rented. The spirit of the capital offender who lives there still haunts the place and is trying to kill me. Capital offender? Might I ask Little Cinemas is quite that the next time you visit me, he brings us scores of super soft soap. Oh, hold on. Before we go to the Southern thing, here, have the soap. Here, have the soap. Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this? Ah, there it is. That Latry lowlife took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding in the depths of fucking hell. Slippery, slicky, psychotic saboteur. You really got off the soap, haven't you? And you missed the people. Anyways, well, I want to push you so fat, but but you get the point. Absolutely, I mean, the next time someone gives me a soap as present, it's friendship, finish, for me, forever, yeah, babe. I don't know what we can blame soap for everything that happened, Mr. Natsumi. Well, so much for that idea. With all offender. The truth is, I didn't know the details of myself until the very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year now. At that time, he was hiding out of the lodgings at Mr. Garrett's house. What? He lived? Where do you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now. In my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offender? But before his sentence to be carried, he died in the prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. Curse? What will is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Smith? This already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Nasumi? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found out that after I signed the lease. When Mr. Garrett came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. Here you go. And here's an leash. Why, thank you very much. By the way, did anybody rent this room in the first place? Well, no. It's not like anyone had died or anything. What? Did anyone? Oh god. No, nothing. It's not like gas or anything. Never mind. Just stay that thing. Oh, no, you say too much. In fact, if I know beforehand, I probably have seen too scared to take the room. Landlords, leash, lucky, illegal. Lucky for Mr. Garrett maybe, but not so lucky for the poor Nasumi. And now you believe this curse is a fruit finger. It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched. All the time. And then you talk about having nightmares, the dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when it's struggling to believe, I wake up in the room. It's as cold as ice. But why is the room so cold? London's winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb to bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as we led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Miss Chancellor last night, where he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that be explained by curse though. Whatever can be the cause of all this strange happening to Mr. Garrett's Lord. Yeah, we need to talk to this guy. Anyway, see you later. Anyway, let's rather talk to him for now. "22nd February, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett."
You're back again.
Oh, you're here now, Mr. Garrett.
Right, Polly business is it for me, getting all in about?
Were you at the Old Bailey by chance?
Naturally, fail on my lodgings had. I get a balance and all that. Not a trial to miss.
The fate of what had already been dubbed your haunting lodgings, yes.
Cause the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the whole haunted lodgings are such newfangled, whatever you call it.
Well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder the blaze of is going out, don't you know?
Yes, I'm sure he does. In fact, taking back the missing other trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey there as well, weren't you, testifying with your wife about what happened?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. No, thank you, piece of shit. Don't worry, I'm not smoking tobacco because it is spot. Stop off at the prison of the way home in fact beastly business.
I see. Sorry about that.
So, what brings you to my haunted dog today, girl? You want me to get myself arrested because you sent my wife there?
No, we want to talk about this one. Let's try passing this one. This one? Together. Could you show you this?
Been quite a couple of days, as you can imagine. I'm a feeling very tired. Haven't really got the energy of the old eyes, to be honest with you.
Some other time then. Okay, so that thing it's not work, but maybe he know about this one. Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you?
No, that's not at all. He was a lodger here. Duncan Rose was his name.
Duncan Rose?
A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot, just for kicks, really.
Was he by chance the lodger before Natsumi?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Moses was waiting for, one might say.
Yes, young Duncan lives in the room and at the top of the first flight of stairs before the Japanese chap.
Would you mind telling us a little more about him?
No, I see not.
Anyway, what's up?
Some fishy fella from the far east and feel like of questionable character, eh? Yes, the halls does seem to have become some sort of magnet to run fellows a little late. You know, I heard of the batting circus, but my two tenants, yeah, they're more like a circus freak, circus of nature. Thanks to the ball cross.
Complex curse, you mean?
Ah, heard the stories, have you? Brought the scoundrels was just rested here, then the next chap in the room goes and be over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside the streets, not to mention the actor yesterday, and my wife got arrested. And my next, sir. Well, can't help but get the collar ups, can you?
When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, you mean Miss Green? This because Miss Green was stabbed by the knife and Mrs. Shamsu who was poisoned last night. Both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted conflict because it seems.
Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, and a fascinating history. Why? It sounds like a lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included and no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps? Yeah.
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things. In that case, there are any mishap or such likes.
I think you have a mishap already.
Look, you don't need to say that on my face just because my wife is arrested. Thank you very much. With that attorney here.
I'm sorry, okay? That's not helpful, Mrs. Sholmes. You're going to get me into trouble. Heavens forgive me, the word just came to my lips.
Anyways,
Some fishy fellow from that is and feel like wait, did I question that? I feel sharp and questionable character here. There's no need for that, Mr. Garrett. That's right. Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. He's undeniably peculiar, however. It isn't right he took the fig. Is it right that he took the figures immediately after the previous tenants passed away? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up with the very same day. Never come across a chap so give up place with a background as it were. I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much in the cheap rent actually. So, how long has Mr. Jansen been lodging under your roof? That failed chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it. Only 3 months? It's quite near to here too. And to what do you owe your certainty in regards, Mr. Guy, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scholar as it happened. Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Samson have some kind of connection then? That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now. You see some malady or other. Yes, we seen the reports in the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedy showed his face. The actor fell. Really? Yes, I remember it quite distinctly. This world we inhabit, we landlord hear my request. I, the humble Samfield, do desire to take the room on the middle floor of the will for rent. Terribly sorry on what up, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger in the middle floor, ground floor's room bigger though. Nothing can be made of nothing. Let me repeat, will unto thee. And I have to repeat that those calls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken, this ground floor or nothing. Take it or leave it. And do hurry up. My wife, I mean my maid is coming back soon for dinner, so make up your mind. Very well, we have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar. No, Shamsir dance to the lake. Will you stop jumping up and down? You're gonna wake then. Will you stop jumping up and down? You're gonna shake the building. From what I heard in court today, it sounds like the chap was stealing gas. And that's it. And thanks to that, I regret my life decision on giving him the room rent. I mean, giving the room, sorry. And it was 3 months in area with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a volley player, alright. He paid the rent. He still owe me like £30. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Gara. We are most grateful. By the way of the question, I will say that 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe. Put on my crown. I have immortal lodgings to me. Well, if you ask me to give you a lodging here, then no. Fuck you. What's happened to you? Shakespeare might develop one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning to the subject, but I have a turn of literature too, you know. Well, please do it outside. Perhaps you could turn your attention to a more apt line then. Anyways, the lodger's dead. Anyways, regarding the lodger's dead, yes, Duncan Rose, young chap, was attending art school, had to work to pay for in mind, moved into the middle floor about a year ago, after criminal Southern was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes? Yes, well, anyways, it was one morning after a month about now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamp to see what my lodgers are up to that time. So suddenly I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. The smell of gas that alerted me was. Ah, yes. Synonymously with the smell of death.
Call the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door down of his hinges. But once we got in, we all bodily collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes, we were full of it, not anywhere at all. Stove must have gone off while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, the police gave me such a sound tickling off because the gas pipe was so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it set me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even after you had the work done, Mr. Nasumi say the same thing. That the stove goes out at night while he's asleep at night.
Well, that's the public curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensively. Chill.
That reminds me actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan. The night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Yes, well, did I put it now? Here it is. Left all on my desk.
If you excuse me, let me see that I want to say to my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think that we should be reading such personal piece of correspondence? Nah, who cares? Why this is it though? This is a piece of life we face my reading with. If you excuse me, I will not excuse you, Mr. Shaw. No.
Sadly, he didn't address it though. So I've no means of delivering the thing rather sad, rather.
I see. That's going to play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mrs. Ross' sweetheart has no bearing on this case. I think we should leave well alone. Yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended reception address is missing. However, there's a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mrs. John, please, I'm ready to have chatted you about this one. My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green. Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago? The victim of the last case of sexism was on the floor who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just a chance that her name can come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Listen harder, whatever can this mean? Reading personally correspond can have its merits, you see, Mr. Zipper?
Anything else? Good, no. Not like it.
Okay, I think we should try to go back to the hospital to ask her. I don't see her anywhere. Mr. Naruto, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. He said Mr. Green is well enough to be discharged at last. It's good news, but hopefully just before she leaves... What is it? Miss Green! No, what was that? She's clearly hid something behind her. One moment, Abby. You in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? What's that thing you're doing now? The doctor say I have PTSD, so I'm getting my things together. Miss Green, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can quite something out of her. But first... What the hell is that? Is this the bottle that Mr. Green was about to drink? Or more than right? Yes, she's looked rather preoccupied, didn't she? Perhaps it's very bitter. I can stand bitterness. I suppose that could be. In fact, whenever a doctor prescribes me medicine for a number of days, I always take it all at once. Oh no! Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's best to get it all out in one go, isn't it? Oh dear, and I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about. A moment. What? This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before. So now though, we shouldn't be peeking at the young woman's private effects. I already had a chat setting with Holmes, so please do not do it here. Right, I should say peeking for gentlemen's effect. You mustn't do it here. And maybe you, Mrs. O, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either. Anyways. Hospital discharge. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh, yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital solve don't want them. No real wasting pigs. Not people like me anyway. So, I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. Probably shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk. That's for sure. Okay, so so maybe I should present. Hey, look. Is this your... Hey, look. Do you know this? Miss Green, were you hoping to ask about someone? Mr. Duncan Rose, you knew him, didn't you? Oh, oops. Whoops. Oh shit. I'm so sorry, the bottle messenger fell down when she did. Yeah, we saw the photo here, so yeah. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. We were just expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's when I met Duncan, a year now. He wasn't working to fund his studies. He dreamt of being a professional artist one day. Had the two of you become romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Gaddab's. Yes, he told me he found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We are so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she's every reason to feel the universe is against her. I don't hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our... Mr. Naholo. Mr. Na... Wait. Is the rat dead? The rat is dead. Well, it look... Surely you were not able to leave. That's quite out of the question. Yeah, the rat's there when they talk over that. But Mr. Cho, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. What do you intend to leave from the shadows at all? Well, make your presence known next time. Mrs. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity is that why do detectives insist on such an exposed factor modus operandi? Why solve a case after it happened, instead of preventing a case from before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There's a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Kokoro. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening, with nothing but careful observation. Alright? All the clues you need are set before you. You need to look around and you cannot fail to see it. I mean, look at the one that's behind me. Come on. I know you can do it. Yeah, I know this. What? The rat is dead! That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice that before, did you? I think perhaps he drank the medicine that spilled off the bottle. But that's... The bottle Miss Bean was about to drink from where we arrived. You you don't think... Ah, I see you come to appreciate the true nature of the scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank has sadly died. Well, rat, but anyways, I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend the mouse presently. Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as the rodent? To take your own life? Once we left, you would have to put in your lips again, would you, and take the poison? No! Ouch! Ouch! Miss Green, please talk to us, and don't lick the floor. Suicide, damn it! 10 seconds later, and we have arrived in a very different scene here. In all probability, we would have not enjoyed this moment delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hadn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how do you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor came to examine me in the mornings, I always leave the medicine cabinet open for a while, so as not to miss out where he was looking. It's conspiracy like a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, the poor little mouse is just proof of that. Oh no, it's all my fault. What have I done? I should remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none. What should I do? It definitely feels as though the card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with her hand and what can be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may be well to be related to whatever incident Mrs. Jones believed was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. Wait, did we open the... Yeah, there we go. The card. It's not done yet. Neither the sender name or address appear to be written on the envelope on the card. It arrived by post at my house the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the slab and salad on Brian Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anyone else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is the precise time where the incident occurred. Yeah, you weren't that far, so how the heck? It's like I said, yes, apart from the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road, and being the street that is together as house is on, does it mean that? Yes, I'm sure you guessed. That day when I was stuck in the backpack at night, I was actually on my way to slug and salad. Goodness. So that's why you were going on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green, please promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend at the bottom now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a full ship with a bottle of poison. And I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through the end. It might sound like a little coincidence, but that's how all this had made me feel. Leaving Miss Green, leaving Miss Green and Saint Bartholomew behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it would appear that we reached the end of the investigation trial for today. Yes, it's late. And, Mr. Naoto, did you discover anything that may be your use of for tomorrow? Wait, still? Sorry, I think I missed a bit. Sorry. Did, did you discover anything that may be your use for tomorrow? Do you think? Details of Mr. Hampshire, Mr. Garrett's lodging, the convict Solon. There are many facades in this case, and we're yet to see the heart of it if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. thing, you mean? Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I feel that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Green. Oh dear. Yes, Baron Van Ziet. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise the morning, tomorrow will be the new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed and at the crisp hour and attend the trial, and then I miss the trial again. Mrs. Sholmes, you're going to come. Indeed, whatever happens, I should be there. Does it mean my eyelids to cooperate in the morning? Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people, although I'm assuming it's 60 people instead of 6 million. But away from the razzle-dazzle down back alleys and behind brick-up windows the lonely lurks, Soseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I feel honor bound to battle equally hard for my compatriots to lift the curse that grips him. As Mr. Shong said, tomorrow will be a new dawn for all of us. Alright. Alright, that's it for this part. Again, tomorrow will be the finale. No, next time will be the finale for it. So anyways, for those who are watching thank you again. And if you like the video, give a like and subscribe. This is Andrew, signing off. Cause it recess.